Sona or shield banned the Sona from themselves. Wow.
Oh, interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah. So Kog not scared of Ezreal and Lulu at all. That's not something you used to be able to do against Ezreal. You know, they might be going for a lane swap actually because of that.
I still wouldn't recommend it though. Like even in a lane swap though.
I think they're going to swap lanes though.
Yeah. Let's go over it real quick then. So what are the advantages of going to Doran's Blade over your standard boost 3 pots in a lane swap situation?
Well, you're ridiculously strong. You have a lot of damage. You know, you can fight. Doran's, I mean, it gives you the health to be, I don't know, just bully people around in lane, and it gives you the damage. So it's a ridiculously strong starting item. The weaknesses are you lack mobility to move in and out of lane to farm successfully. You lack the heals. The health potions, it actually give you a really high effective HP when you use them enough. So it's 200 HP or a 250 maybe for each. I think it's 200. So that's 600 HP off of 3 health potions. 150. So I'm off a little bit, but 150. It used to be 200, but they so. It gives you a decent effective HP having the health potions. It gives you the movement speed. Normally, if it was the Ezreal Lulu lane versus the Kog Nunu lane, even though it's an even matchup, when you're going the Dorans, that's a major weakness early on, and Ezreal and Lulu would be able to chase you down and try and pick up any early advantages, try and pick up kills, but they don't want to let them get vision of Kog'Maw right now because I'm fairly certain they're going to go for the lane swap. Shen is showing himself off right now, but Bang and Vinyl Cap, they're sitting up here taking the golems, and Shen's actually going to swap now, so they have no idea because they baited it out. Najin shield, they showed expression in that top lane so that they didn't realize they were going for the lane swap, and they haven't shown the fact that it's a Dorans yet because the Dorans would have been a dead giveaway. So they are going to just try and completely shut down MacNoon in this top lane. And that's one of the best things you can do against Jax is try and shut him down with a lane swap.
And you also see that Nunu and Kog are still not showing themselves. They're actually helping out Mokuza with the red, help take that out. They're looking for a late entry. And you also see that Expression, he's not quite
They know, though, because
yet,
they saw Expression walk past the mid lane, so they definitely know by now, but it's still going to be interesting. We saw this Najin Sword versus TPA maybe in the World Championships. I think it was a similar situation. MacNoon was running Jax, and they did the lane swap, or he might have been Shen. I don't remember exactly, but I remember Najin Sword versus TPA. There was a similar situation. You already see Mokuza being very aggressive as that Lee Sin, and he's going back. MacNoon doesn't even want to deal with it. He's just going to recall and then swap lanes immediately.
I think that's the right call, though.
Yeah, he knows he's done.
He knows he's done. He knows he can't really do a whole lot, so you might as well just try and make the situation better while you still can and minimize the farmage you're going to be getting. But Bang and Wildcat, they're considering, do we want to go back yet? There's still some free time to farm. They can still actually push the wave to tower in the time that's going to take for Lulu and Ezreal to actually get up there. And now, with all this time,
that's the right decision.
And this is now enough time and enough gold. Bang on the back when they actually go back to swap again, he can actually buy boots.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that's going to be nice. We'll see whether or not he goes for the boots or if he just goes for some health pots, but definitely a nice decision on their part. They wanted to recall so they can keep laning against Jax. They have, enough for both and 3 health pots. So that's just insane to have that early advantage, and they can just continue to try and shut down Jax. But by pushing the lane to the tower first, it does 2 things. One, it denies some gold, so Najin Sword's falling a little bit behind by doing the lane swaps at these times. Though actually, you see that Ezreal's a little bit ahead of Kog'Maw right now. But it also, it pushes the lane back against Shen. So pushing it into the tower, you see the lane, it pushes all the way to Shen's tower, so Shen's safe. And Prey and Kayn, they're swapping again. They know that Jax has no possibilities of laning against Kog and Nunu. It's such an aggressive lane, particularly now that he has boots. They can completely zone and shut down Jax, and they know they need to get him into this game. So both teams, that's what the name of the game is right now. It's get Jax farmed and shut him down.
Meanwhile, while top and bottom are so busy swapping back and forth, we got this action coming in on mid. You got Maokai looking for that twisted advance down onto the Anivia, taking tons of damage, and the minions actually doing their fair share.
They almost could have killed Watch and gotten out of there.
They could have. The Orianna shield helping save the day immensely, but still throwing down Sapling, still wants the vision, knows that he can recall safely if he needs to. But also seeing that Kayn did not immediately recall and go back for a lane swap, actually made a visit to mid first, helped try and team, just in case, for any support whatsoever.
Yeah. But you know who's going top again? It's Bang and Vinyl Cat. They're swapping with Expression once again. They want to be matched up against MacNoon. They're going to shut him down level 4 versus the level 3. MacNoon's in a really just terrible situation for himself.
And I'm surprised, actually, how even the ADs are actually staying this way because of these constant swaps. Because usually, if one team is content with the swap, when the other team comes in, they'll have a little bit more gold. They'll have a little bit of like a level XP advantage. But because it's constant swapping, it's basically both teams are still staying disadvantaged. However, right now though, whoever has the biggest advantage in the lane swap is whoever has the AD support down bot lane for that dragon control if it ever does happen. But you do have a very aggressive combo here top lane, and Mocha's actually going here from behind. They're looking for an early dive actually on MacNoon.
That's really common when you have the 2v1 swap to come up with the jungle. He has his counter-strike up, but actually Lee Sin coming in, he gets the flash out, so MacNoon does live, but they force him out of the lane. And that's something that's very common when you see the 1v2, to have the jungler go for those ganks around level 3 or 4, because that's when you have the kill. It's tough to gank a Jax usually, but even so, they force him back, and he's really in a dangerous spot. But he's keeping even with Shen. But Shen doesn't need as much gold as Jax does. Makuza coming in on Song, just gets some quick damage, gets out of there. And MacNoon, he does have the cloth armor early on. He had bought it his last buyback to make sure that he can try and live against that lane, but he's all out of health potions, so it's a dangerous spot for him.
Meanwhile, you're looking at Sword here, taking out the bot tier 1 outright, and that is one of the best advantages of the Lulu. There's a lot of poke, there's a lot of slow. Let's see, but Bang in a little bit of trouble, forcing out the flash and the summoner heal. He's in a bit of trouble. Watch is taking quite a bit of damage. Is the slow enough? Is the damage enough? There you go. First blood. Gonna be actually going to the
MacNoon's gonna get it.
MacNoon, no. Bang, actually very low, but I think MacNoon knows.
Not enough mana.
MacNoon knows if he gets the kill, that thing will explode and he will die. Mocha going for the fireball, going for the wave, does not land its mark. Also takes a free tower hit. MacNoon's still in trouble here though, but an empowered leap strike may be more than enough to take out Bang.
That was incredibly well played by Najin Shield, because Bang just tanking up Maokai and Jax. He knew he had just barely enough damage to take down Maokai and still live. He just barely got out of there. So really nice job. You see Song pressuring Hoonsum in the mid lane. He's out of mana, but Makuza's coming in. He doesn't have enough mana for the Flash Frost, but if he can keep in range, there's the Shen ultimate onto Song. Can he get over the wall in time? He has the flash, but the flash from Lee Sin. Shen gets over the wall. They will pick up that kill, and Nivea's a little bit low, but Watch is in a dangerous spot.
The taunt over the wall. Flash could not escape that. There's a slow. You got the fireballs. There's the exhaust coming in. That's going to be plenty. Kill. Going to go to Hoon on that one. Very well coordinated.
Oh, but Sword, they're pushing the top lane. So already really aggressive pushing. It's a 3-0 kill advantage for Shield, but Sword is slightly ahead in farm with the Ezreal, but they're also pushing very aggressively. They took the bottom lane. They're looking for this top lane as well to try and counter out some of that aggression. And the team gold from those pushes is actually going to pull Jax ahead of Shen, even though Shen, or actually Shen's ahead right now because of the assist and because of the farm. But if they can get a second tower, then that team gold will really help bring Jax back into this game.
Yeah, objectives like towers, like Dragon, is about 1,000 gold, which is roughly about 2 kills. But with the 1 kill lead, that does actually speak to the gold. Plus, also remember the first blood bonus, which did go to VinylCat, but that's fine. It's going to help him get those GP10s that much quicker.
And I think that MacNoon, he's actually building a Wriggles, which is something you haven't seen from a top laner in a while. It was nerfed so many times. It used to be just, every single game it would be Wriggles versus Wriggles because of the lane sustain that it would give you. But what that's going to do, he's going to be incredibly weak through the mid game. He's not going to be able to, help his team as effectively as when you go for Hex Drink or Phage into the Trinity Force or any of these other common Jax builds that we see. But it'll allow him to farm, and he wants to just play safely right now. He wants to just run around. It'll allow him to take the jungle minions and try and keep his health up. So that'll actually be a really nice opportunity for him to catch up.
But also keep in mind here that there's not a whole lot of dragon control onto Sword either. I mean, Lee Sin, you see he's actually building into a Wriggles himself. Kog'Maw's got tons of damage. He also got Nunu with the Consume is going to help out immensely. So he needs something to try and counteract that if they ever get a dragon opportunity or even a Baron opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, Lee Sin, we've seen in the past with Diamond Procs, he can just take Dragon by himself. Makuza coming in on Song, but Song seems going to be okay. Actually, the wall. Song's in a really dangerous spot here. The flash onto, Shield onto the ward, and then knocking back Song. Song is going to go down. No, but he actually just barely is able to pick up the kill there, so in exchange.
And even if he did get the damage onto Anivia, the egg was up, so unfortunately that's the best case situation in something like that. We got MacNoon and Expression dueling down here in the bot lane. MacNoon looking to get his push on, looking to farm a little bit more. Watch keeping guard here in mid, and the pressure up top is still pretty immense. Bang very low on mana, but wants a few free shots on Lulu. Looking for those artillery shots. Also, Vinyl Cat out in front with those slows, with those snowballs to just get some harassment, get some annoyance. But there's still about 400, 500 gold actually separating these two teams, which is pretty much just that one extra kill that has actually been acquired by Shield. Prey though, looking for those mystic shots. With Kane on the side though, they want that tower. They want that tower. They want to extend that gold lead. It's very low too. It's under 500 health. If they get an opportunity, that thing is gonna go down really quick.
And I just want to point out real quick, this is something I've noticed watching Macnoon, through previous games. But he started off, he wants to farm in the bot lane, but the bot lane's pushed up. He pushed it up to the second turret, and so he started off running towards the top lane, just because he knew, he's not going to walk up to the second turret to continue farming that bottom lane. So he originally started walking up to the top lane and then transitioned mid, just in case there's any fights happening. So you see really nice positioning by Sword. They're constantly, in position where they can try and counter out Shield. They can say, all right, if Shield's forcing a fight here, our team's already ready to go. But now you see, now that Bot's pushing back a little bit more, he's able to come back. He's still hiding in the bush for a second. They don't know he's there yet, but he has to back up because Makuza's here along with Expression if they can engage on him.
Nice juke, getting out of the way of the wave. Magnuno he's still got the empower. Still looking for damage. He's gonna be doing pretty well actually deflecting this push. And little does Shield know, he actually got the Maokai here helping to defend. He had the ward being placed down by Lee just to get a little more time. And where is Shen going? He's going up to the top lane.
The quick flash.
Nice flash out of the way. But there's Nunu with the ultimate, going to be looking for big damage down in the Prey. But Kane right here is primary target number one, forcing out the ultimate. Barely just getting away from that one. Hoon also getting very low here in mid. Still has the egg though, still relatively safe.
But this is a great opportunity for Sword to go for this dragon. They still have to watch out for Lee Sin, but because they know that 3 are top, they can potentially pressure it. Lee Sin, he is with Maokai. Actually, Makuza trying to peek in for a little bit, and with that Oracles, it seems they are going to be potentially going for that dragon. They actually will probably back off because Shen's here as well, so they will back down. But that was a great play from Prey and Kane, being able to escape from Shen. There wasn't quite enough mana on Bang. If Bang had a little bit more mana, they would have been able to pick up those kills, but he didn't quite have enough to spam the abilities like he would like to.
I'm still loving these early Oracles plays. We saw it a little bit in game number 1, but when you have a GP10 jungler like Maokai, and he can afford to do stuff like this. He doesn't need, he just straight on out, move 5 boots into Oracles. So you can just, I can build Field of Stone later, I can build Heart of Gold later. The vision is more important right now, especially when you have a lot of your members displaced.
And Maokai, he's just an incredibly aggressive jungler. He already is fairly tanky with his passive, with his ultimate. You use him for the utility for the most part, so he doesn't need to be the tankiest body. He will have shields from both Lulu and Orianna to help him out some. So he knows he can just skip past those gold pretends and just try and be very aggressive, give them some map control.
He's getting plenty of money off just getting those wards too, anyway.
And having team objectives, having the map control that's allowing them to take these turrets and everything, that's more than enough to make up for the lack of the gold pretends. So really nice play. They get the top turret, 2-0 turret advantage, but Shield should be able to grab this dragon. They're trying to peek in a little bit. It seems that Maokai's going to back off and just let them have it.
Yep, Shield recognizes they have the mana advantage down here. Tower for dragon is not the worst trade in the world. It's actually pretty even, but there is also still a small gold disadvantage for Sword. It still hasn't really expanded any further than about 1,000 gold, and it's a ridiculously even game. But you have 2 very differing strategies. You have one kill-oriented team. You also got one objective-based team, but everyone's just still sitting by, just for the most part. Hoon now with the blue buff going to be able to help clear those waves significantly easier. But this is going to be interesting. We're going to see what happens over the next few minutes, because now we have the AD and support roaming here for Najin Sword. So we'll see what the Lulu and Ezreal can do together in the jungle.
Yeah, and they do, have an understanding that they're probably in that top jungle, but they don't know exactly where they are. Lee Sin, maybe he doesn't have an understanding because he's going to walk right into him.
There is the slow coming in. You got the twisted advance. Also, plenty of damage using the dragon kick just to get Lulu out of there, but that is a quick kill for the Maokai in enemy territory. Meanwhile, bot lane, Macnoon getting chunked out huge by the Cog, chasing them away, just force them back to tower and force them away from the minion wave. Wonderful. That was a great camp out. Great camp out there.
Yeah, some of the pressure from Sword is, doing very effective so far. But you see, for all that they tried to shut down Macnoon early on in the game, he's farming very effectively. He's already at about 100 CS, 15 minutes into the game. They have the 2 turrets that help him, catch up a little bit. And I think he's going to transition out of that Wriggles. I don't know if he was originally intending to get that. That was just kind of my thought. He might not have been, but he seems to be going for more of a standard build. So he's going to be able to, get the Phage. He just used the lifesteal for a little bit to help him, farm, and yeah, there's the Phage. So that's going to really help him out a lot. And I don't know, it's pretty impressive that he's able to farm as effectively as he is, considering the early pressure from Shield.
But I like the fact that he delayed the build. He had all the pieces ready and assembled just in case. He wasn't quite sure. Like I said, that's it. He just was not sure at the time where he was going to go.
And all the components, I mean, gave him advantages. He needed the cloth armor so he wouldn't die. He wanted a little bit more damage, so the longsword. He wanted some lifesteal, so.
Yeah, and even then, you can build that Vampiric Scepter into a Cutlass. You can throw that cloth armor into something like an Aegis if you really wanted to. A lot of the cheap items, a lot of the small items are pretty flexible this early on, and sometimes there's the benefit in not building something huge very early. Kane down here down bot got chunked out huge by the Cog, and now this is the point where Cog is getting a little bit dangerous. About a few hundred gold away from actually finishing off the Phantom Dancer, which is first is pretty huge on him. He's got tons of damage already innately, and to have that extra attack speed and the crit is going to be massive.
Yeah, and you see Jax in the top lane trying to keep an eye on when he can farm, but he sees Mokuza. He was sitting in the tri-bush and does have to back off. I mean, all the attack speed from Nunu, you're right. Like, as the game progresses, Bang is just going to be incredibly powerful. I mean, that's kind of what you expect from Kog'Maw. It's just at a certain point in the game, you're going to win, basically. You just have way too much damage to deal with. He's going to be very effective at taking down, Jax, for instance, or any of them, because of the magic damage and the mix of magic and also physical. So that's going to be really strong, and Anivia is going to protect for him. So we'll kind of see, how they're going to deal with that. But they seem to be, or Sword seems to be doing a nice job trying to counter out Shield a little bit. But they need to start putting on some pressure. They need to be able to pull ahead and not allow it to go into that super late game.
Yeah, once we...
Though, I mean, both teams have a very strong late game. I mean, Sword definitely, can hold their own. Their late game is very powerful as well. Yeah,
so who would be the big game players we'll be looking at then if this does indeed go to super late game?
Well, I mean, you have to consider how much poke Orianna's going to do, because Orianna's going to be very powerful. She can instantly win fights for them. Jax, I guess Sword is really just happy right now with farming, so I don't know, they're fine with just getting Jax involved in the game, and the tankier he gets, he's going to be, really nasty for them.
But I do, Kog'Maw though.
Oh yeah.
Kog'Maw super late game can be an absolute menace, and even once he gets all the damage items he needs, like a Guardian Angel, like that could just be GG in its own.
Yeah, no, that's a very possible situation. So we'll see, how they can do that. If they can protect Kog'Maw, use some of the CC that they have. Nunu's one of the best champions in the game at splitting a fight with his ultimate. Anivia is as well. So they're really easily going to be able to protect for Kog. And so it's just going to come down to whether or not Kog can kill Jax fast enough. And that actually, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking that the Lulu ultimate and the Lulu shields, plus the Orianna ultimate, the Orianna shields, if Macnoon can get his farm up, that might just be too much for them. We see Matt Watch actually coming in for the top lane. Expression, he will get that twisted advance. We'll be able to slow him down a little bit, but actually just backs off, so he is kind of low. They do see that a couple members are coming up through that top lane. They have the nice ward coverage to keep an eye on them.
That is a wasted Ignite, unfortunately. Not going to be getting any kills or anything off of that, but it's also clearing time here in bot lane. Bang actually going to be bringing down bot tier 1 to about half until Prey and Kane actually make their appearance back down. Looking for a missing shot, something, anything, and actually throwing down the ooze. Just a slow song. Orianna with the ult, looking for huge damage, but here comes Shen in to help out with the rest of the fight. Kog'Maw, though, is a little bit too far out and does get killed. The passive not going to be getting killed either. Good job here from Najin Sword. Nice roaming from Orianna, and Shen just there a little bit too late.
Orianna is very strong right now. She has the burst damage. She has, poking everything. Orianna is really the one that's going to be controlling the fights. Hoon actually in a dangerous spot there, but they have to watch out because they don't have the CC unless it's Maokai to take him down. So Hoon is able to really control those fights. They do have to back off for a second. The Q, it goes in on Prey, but he doesn't really want to go in. They just want to poke them a little bit, just tease them some, see if they can get the steal.
Hoon was wandering on down to that river, not expecting to actually be chunked out or be seen, but there Lee Sin, he goes in, tries
Sword
to be a
keeps it.
hero, but does not get there with the steal. Hoon needs to retreat, throwing down the ultimate just to clear the way. Macdoon in pursuit, forcing out the flash. I'm not even sure if that was quite necessary, but Hoon, he wants to be safe. He wants to get back to that tower ASAP. And meanwhile, you have this push here in mid. You got Prey actually on his own, shoving the wave down bot. And you got the invade here. Sword, they want to get aggressive. They want to go for more objective steals while they still can.
Oh, it's perfect. By splitting all the lanes, pushing all the lanes up, it allows them to be very aggressive here. Vinyl Cat, he is walking up. Expression is a little bit low, so he's going to back off. They get the red steal. It allows Macnoon, to continue to farm. He's going to be able to go up top lane. It seems like he's actually waiting. He wants to see if anyone runs into this bush.
There was a lot of pings, assumingly from Macnoon's like, hey guys, camp out this bush. We got something with it earlier. We might as well try for it again. They did get that Lee Sin kill earlier, camping out the red brush. Possibly try and go for it again. Sometimes lightning does strike twice, but we'll see where they just decide not to. They've actually fallen on back. Might as well take their own buffs, make sure that they aren't stolen.
How much gold does Macnoon have right now?
That is
because
a very good question.
He is actually pretty close to finishing that Trinity Force, and 20 minutes for Trinity Force, that's kind of what you're expecting anyway.
Yeah.
But to do that when you were set so far behind early on in the game, he has 140 CS. I mean, they did a great job of keeping him farmed. And, Shield, despite all their best efforts, they weren't able to completely shut him down. He's a little bit behind from where he normally would be, but he's doing very well for himself. Yeah,
he needs about 600, 700 more gold and actually to just buy the rest of the Trinity Force outright. And even then on its own, he's about 300 short from just getting the Sheen. But he's going to look for some damage onto Expression anyway while he's here in top lane.
He's still going to win it. He has the Ignite as well. Expression even with the Sunfire.
You got the shield. The Sunfire not going to be doing enough. And here comes Watch to help seal the deal just in case. But he will not be getting the assist. That is all Macnoon. You just shoot the wall and the ultimate from Anivia just to keep the tree away.
I mean, Jax just has easily enough damage to take anyone down at this point, 1v1, and having that red buff as well. So that's actually going to allow Macnoon to be able to freely farm. The fact that no one can stand up to him at this point, it really means that he's going to be able to just continue to exponentially kind of increase his farm at this point. He can just free farm, and that's really going to open up their late game a lot. They've actually moved into a nice little gold lead here, which isn't something from the start of the game what we were seeing from Shield that you would kind of expect at this point.
And also from that exchange, we also learned that Expression should not be really feeling confident in farming armor because now he knows after that, well, Jax can 1v1 me. I cannot farm in a lane safely.
Well, he can't split push as effectively either because Jax can just split against him. He does have the advantage of the 4v5, but Jax is going to be safe to just control that lane, keep up the split push. And if Shen does leave, then Jax can take some of the base or even just dive on him and get the stun with the counter strike.
Yeah, one of the best things you can do when facing up against an enemy Shen is to force him to ult, force him to get out of position, force him to join a fight. Macnoon really, if he really wants to, there's really no big reason why she should actually ever leave top lane right now.
This is random though. It just reminded me. Just saw earlier today on Reddit. I didn't know you could do this with Shen. You can cancel his ultimate if you just attack. Or actually move away, click to move away as the animation ends, but before you've actually teleported. Just kind of a random thing. Won't really have any bearing on this game, but I don't know. Just reminded me of it, so I wanted to point it out.
There's still all those little nuances in characters. Even then, like Lulu with the polymorph, there's plenty of stuff that she can actually cancel on out. I'm sure, I'd love to see like a polymorph mid-Shen taunt. Just like, no, you're not getting your dash. You're not getting to where you need to be. Sorry. You're now a little cupcake, and you're going to be delicious, and you're going to be dead.
That probably would cancel it. I'm not. I haven't actually seen that interaction, but I think you're right that would be how it would work. That would be
there's got to be a rift. This is like
that
a
would
rift
really
myths.
be strong.
This is a rift myths episode, like right in the making, right here. Just like, well, what else? Let's count all the things Polymorph cancels out.
We see currently MacNoon, he's putting on the pressure in the top lane, and it's actually an opportunity where Najin's shield could consider trying to collapse on him, or they could just try and force a 4v4 in the mid and then know that they have the Shen backup, but he's not that far away. And you see MacNoon, he's kind of teasing towards the mid lane. He's actually coming down, so they know that they might force a fight in the second year, but he's actually just going to grab the Wraith. So, but he's in position where if his team needs him, he is going to come down. They will take that mid turret and we'll be safe. Oh, Makuza's getting caught out.
There it is. There is the Shen shield going down, but will it be enough? Watch is still right out in front, throwing down the ultimate taunt gun down onto Ezreal, but he may be a little bit too far deep. Lulu with the polymorph just flat out takes the kill. That is a great kill also from Maokai, keeping that Shen still. Everyone getting an assist on that one. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful from Najin's sword. 2 for free.
And Makuza just being a little too aggressive. A lot of times when you have the enemy in a nice advantage situation, when Najin's sword's so strong, he wants to take the blue, see if he can just take it real quick under their nose. But they were able to push up mid and then transition over. So all of Shield was out of position. Here's the Baron as well. They have 2 members down. It's a 5v3. They really can't defend this. Kog can try and do what he can over the wall, but it's going to be really a difficult effort, monumental effort on his part to try and steal this.
And even then, you got the Orianna Orb. That is the ultimate, and that is also vision for Maokai too. If he can just get onto the side and get position, he can just twist it, advance straight over through the wall, get that CC in. But he throws down the ultimate just in case anyone gets brazen enough to flash over the wall, and they will recall. They will go back with their victory, and now extending themselves up to a massive lead, about 5K gold. Now in the lead here on the 26th minute.
Yeah, they're in a great situation. MacNoon, again, he's able to just control that top lane, shut down anything. You do see Makuza and Bang, they're actually making their way down towards the Dragon, so they're going to be able to take that, get some of that gold lead back. But, the big concern is how strong MacNoon has been able to put himself in this game with the Baron. He's chasing down Expression some more. He's not going to go from under the turret, I don't think, but he's still strong enough.
I wouldn't call him out. I wouldn't call him out on that just quite yet. He's got a 3-level lead on him. If you just get the minion support, and he totally would.
But he is going to be able to steal that red buff, and then they can transition over to the mid lane. They have the regen. No one's in position. Watch, he's just going to tank it. They have the shield, so Lulu and Orianna, they can take this fairly easily. MacNoon's going to have the damage as well. You see Kog'Maw in the bottom lane. They're going to try and come up and defend this, but Anivia can't even do anything, so they lose another turret, and Najin's sword just continuing to pressure them.
Sword can actually wander and transition up to top lane, too, because Expression is still trying to deflect the push. But with the shields, it's already down to about 3/4. You have the shields, you have the health. You could just take it up straight up again, have the Maokai out in front with the ultimate too. And it's like, hey, we got our ultimate, this is damage reduction, challenge us, we dare you. And they still have the Baron for a good 2.5 minutes. They can definitely get another tower off this. I can't see any foreseeable way Shield can actually defend this push.
Well, Anivia is one of the best in the game. He doesn't have the blue, but still has the chalice, so he can try and stall off with the wall with his ultimate, but he's going to run out of mana very quickly. And so Najin's sword, they're going to just pressure them until slowly Hoon runs out of mana, and once he does, or once he's kind of low, then they'll force the fight.
Yeah, Hoon's already about to a third, and even then, you have to get very close as Anivia to actually get the ultimate down, and that you put yourself in a very threatening position, like an Orianna Orb.
Yeah, but you see the shields. They can just poke down the turret very safely. MacNoon's going in for it. Shen's in the bot lane, but they get the quick kill. The Anivia egg. There's the Lulu ultimate onto watch. They're trying to turn this around. Shield's actually in a great situation. Bang he's doing great. He can try and clean up, see what kills he can get, but they actually don't get anything. They just back off. So Sword with an excellent, or Shield with an excellent defense.
But Sword, though, they can still continue on the push because they do still have that Baron. They still have the massive regen. And Shield, they know it's a lit over. They have to let that one go. But they did put up a very valiant effort. They did delay for quite some time. They probably delayed for as much as you possibly can in a situation like that. There's still 1.5 minutes left on the Baron buff. You can still get a pretty decent push out of Sword from that one. There is still a tier 2 left in bot lane, but I think the travel time is just a little bit too much, and you also have a pretty decent wave there to defend. So I think the safe play would just be sit back, take all the jungle stuff, go back, shop, and come on back stronger than you were before. Let's see what everyone's buying. You actually got a lot of armor actually being built up on Maokai here. You got Orianna. You already have the chain vest. Could be actually going into a Guardian Angel too. You already have the Null Magic Mantle. Ezreal's pretty beefy. He actually delayed the Trinity.
Kane's caught out.
Delayed the Trinity. Got the Bloodthirster first, but he should be close to finishing that soon. But yeah, Kane, he did get caught, but that Glitter Lance was able to actually get away pretty cleanly. And MacNoon, he's got nearly 3K to spend. He hasn't spent any of it. He's just been traveling lane to lane. He doesn't care at this point. He knows he's in a good spot.
Yeah, no, he's definitely very safe. He has that Trinity Force, like you said. And next item, probably going to be a GA, so you can be very aggressive, not have to worry about going down. But we'll kind of keep an eye on that. And
yeah,
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how effective he's going to be in fights.
So, oh, you actually got Hoon getting caught out here by the Jack. Splash Rod's going to be doing something. Just actually buy enough time to get the flash, go back to tower, and recall. But Kog'Maw, bang, he needs to get down here. His wave push is necessary to help deflect all this aggression income from Sword. Is the Baron buff down? It is now down. So the Baron should be coming back up in about 3 minutes. So keep an eye on that at the 32-minute mark. Bang, throwing down those artillery shots just to get a little bit of vision, but you also have the wards. But that is a pink ward in the brush. I'm gonna be taking that out pretty quick, and if that wasn't enough, Watch still has his oracles.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to push up. Again, we'll probably see the same kind of shield strategy that we've seen from them in the past. The Baron is down, like you said, but Expression pushing the top lane, trying to get that split push going.
With his ult down.
His ult is down. Oh, it'll be up in a second. Yeah, no, so it's basically up.
Yeah.
So they're going to be able to hold off with the Nivea here, but again, the concern is how fast or how long can Hoon hold, because they're just slowly poking down the turrets, and they don't have the really strong engage.
Wow.
There's Macnoon, the Orianna ultimate, the Lulu ultimate as well. They take them down very quickly.
That is the Flash Leap Orianna ult. Wonderful coordination right now from Najin.
Oh, there was the combo.
That is the wonderful, wonderful combo. You got a double on Orianna. Going to be cleaning up the rest of that. Ezreal got a piece of that too, so double and a single, and that is a flat-out ace. Magnu the only one going down, but he was an absolute hero there.
Oh, there's the
and
surrender.
That's the surrender. Shield knows they cannot defend it, so right now, 1-1 in the series. Sword taking game number 2. We're going to game number 3, and remember, we are also going by the Korean rules here. Game 3.